Hello, Jeff Solomon here from FreePromoTips. I'd like to welcome you to another SuccessTracks education experience. This session features Phil Martin from Warwick, and he's going to be talking about creating an annuity for your business. It is just great material. I know you're going to come away with some things you can use to build your business, and that's what it's all about. I'd like to thank the title sponsors of Free Promo Tip SuccessTracks. We have Snugs USA, an incredible supplier company, and our good friends at AIA, along with Warwick Publishing. Phil Martin, as many of you may know, is the national sales manager for Warwick. And these three companies truly do understand the importance and the value of education, and they get all the positive things that Free Promo Tips is bringing to the industry, and we do it with the support of these fine companies. So we truly appreciate, again, the support of AIA, Snugs USA, and Warwick. And without any further ado, here's Phil Martin, who's going to talk to us about creating an annuity for our businesses.
Hey, there you go. You should be seeing me. There's my ugly mug right there. Yes, National Sales Manager, Warwick Publishing Company. We're in St. Charles, Illinois, 40 miles straight west of Chicago, right here in the beautiful Midwest, where it's about 40 degrees.
Yeah, and on that topic, as I was out actually riding my motorcycle, Phil and I talked about him having to have his winterized. I'm in Southern California where sun shines all the time. So, anyway. Okay, go ahead, Phil. Take it away.
Let's get rocking here. We got so much time and so little to cover. Not really. Right. We got a lot to cover, folks. I got a lot of information I want to throw at you, and bear with me on the slides. I don't like to just chat while you're reading slides necessarily. So I have a lot of images. They take a little bit of time to load, so bear with us. But what you see right now is the single biggest question I hear at every trade show I go to. Every trade show, at least one person walks into my booth and says, Phil, I know I should sell calendars, but I don't know how. So today, that's really what we want to concentrate on, and that's an annuity for your business, but it's selling calendar advertising, and it's if you're not selling them, you really need to. You'll notice one thing I will be talking about later on, and that is added value. Anytime you can add value to your calendar program, you are far better off, and it's going to be a lot easier to sell that program. First of all, I want to just say we get locked in to selling what things are and not what they do. So I always say, what is this? You know, when I do a presentation live or people and I tell people at a trade show booth, I say, what is this? And I hold up a calendar and they go, oh, it's a desk calendar, it's billboard advertising, and they throw a lot of neat things out at me. But you know what? Don't sell what it is. Sell what it does. And what the calendar does, and it's for all calendars, really what it does is it provides year-long communication. I mean, think about that. It's a year-long communication program. Sell what it does, not what it is. And that goes with any product. I mean, don't sell a mug. Sell what the mug's going to do for the customer. This is basic stuff. But what the calendar does, it communicates to your clients for 396 days. In our case, it's 396 days. Now, think about that. Your name on their desk every day, it's almost hysterical. It's laughable. I say it's 396 days because in our particular case, in the world of desk calendars, and in some cases wall calendars even have more than 396 days of advertising, but in our particular case, all of our desk calendars, with the exception of a couple, come with what we call a December top sheet. There's where you get your 396 days. The December top sheet allows you 31 days of extra advertising at no additional cost. That's what we are all about here at Warwick. You buy 12 months of advertising, we give you 13 months. We're good people that way. We won't even charge you extra for it. The December top sheet allows us to do different things, and we'll just go into it later on why the December top sheet. There's 4 basic steps to selling calendar advertising, folks. I mean, it's really creating the need, asking the right questions, discussing the features and benefits of a calendar program. Very important. Providing a good, solid distribution plan, and we're going to get into that in detail in just a little bit. Then there's choosing the calendar. Once you get your customer interested in calendar advertising, choosing the calendar, doing mock-ups, which we do mock-ups here for you. We do virtual samples at no charge here at Warwick, and we will do spec samples at no charge also, within reason. this time of the year we get kind of busy, so I don't like you to call up and say, "Hey, Phil, I need a spec sample. I need it in 24 hours." you get the. Well, I won't say what you get. We won't hang up on you. But anyway, best place to start. I tell people, they go, "Well, how do I go about selling calendars?" The best place to start is tapping into your current client base. Have you ordered your calendars? When you ask that question, be prepared. If they say, "No, I haven't, and I'm not going to," be prepared to tell them why they should have the benefits. I think of the calendar advertising as kind of the, oh, by the way sale. When you're in there getting your pen order, your shirt order, your hat order, you say, "Oh, by the way, have you ordered your calendars yet?" "No, we don't do calendars." Wow, you really should consider doing calendars. What the calendar will provide for you is a lot of sales power, et cetera, et cetera. Another question to ask would be, what is the advertising space on the wall or desk of your customer or prospect worth if you could lease it for a full year? Think about that. Leasing wall space, leasing desk calendar or desk space, leasing dashboard space, leasing inside of a locker space. Think about that. What is that worth? Calendar advertising is important to your client, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. They have sales power, gift value, economical. Think about that. I mean, the 396 days of advertising, and the average calendar runs, let's say $3. You do the math. $3 divided by 396, that's fractions of a penny per day. Calendars are personal, they're a necessity, they're appreciated, and most importantly, they're important to you, and I'll tell you why they're important to you. And it's real simple. A lot of you are probably screaming it at your phone right now saying, because they're an annuity. That's what this program's all about. Calendars repeat. Nothing, I'm telling you, nothing repeats like a calendar. 87% of first-year orders repeat, and they repeat on average 8 years. Our longest-running repeat order here at Warwick, 55 years. I wasn't here when it came in first because I'm only 52 years old, but 55 years a calendar order has been repeating. Many years ago, the Calendar Advertising Council hired a company called Manville, and they did a Manville report and came up with some really neat statistics. And they just redid this a few years ago and realized the statistics all remained the same. 96% of business and 67% of households say they would make an effort to go get a calendar if they didn't actually receive a complimentary calendar. It's amazing. I sat at an established one time having a cocktail, probably at a hotel because I travel all the time. And I talked to the gentleman next to me, and I told him what I did, and he said, "Oh, I get 5 calendars a year from people." And I said, "Well, who'd you get them from?" And he was able to rattle off every single, my insurance man. He rattled off all 5 of them. I said, "Well, pretty effective, wasn't it? How many do you use?" He goes, "Only use a couple." But my point being, it's pretty effective, even though they don't use the calendar that they know where it came from. That same survey said that the average household has almost 4 calendars. The average business has 2 calendars. And the most common reasons is obviously for appointment reminders, et cetera, et cetera. I get asked a lot, that's really in-your-face advertising right there, folks. I mean, when people are asking for the calendars. I get asked a lot, "Well, Phil, who buys promotional calendars? I mean, who's buying these things?" I always tell them the best place to start, really, is Main Street America. I mean, Main Street America, the people that don't have a huge budget to do big advertising programs and magazine ads and TV ads, et cetera, et cetera. It's really Main Street America. But then again, these are just a few, shown on your screen are just a few of some of the customers or businesses that have used calendars over the years. So it's not just Main Street America, it's the big guys too. And why do they do it? Why are they using calendars? Well, it's real simple. They understand the effectiveness of them. And quite frankly, as I mentioned earlier, you do the math, it's fractions of a penny per day. I mean, it's quite possibly the most economical sales pitch in the world. And keep in mind that calendar sitting there, and it's sitting there year-round for 396 days. It's constantly watching you, and it's always there. The kind of creepy little guy there. I kind of like that guy. Think of the calendar as a business card. I mean, we all have business cards. We all hand out business cards. And that's just what it is. I mean, the calendar says who you are, what you do, where you are, but most importantly, that calendar is going to tell your customers when it counts, and that's when the product service is needed or whatever your customer is trying to promote. Okay, now think about that. People hand out business cards every day. I mean, most every day. You're stopping around, if you're doing cold calling or not, you're handing a business card out, you hand it to the receptionist, you give a business card to your customer. Where do you think that business card is really going to be ending up? Typically, it ends up in the drawer. How do you like this picture? I mean, this is an old ad that we ran, oh gosh, long time ago. Look at a phone in the background. I mean, think about that. Is your business card up there where it counts, or is it down in the pile where it's out of sight, out of mind? Now, there's different ways to go about starting the calendar process as far as the calendar selling process. And that's really, first step is kind of figuring out what purpose is the calendar going to create. I mean, what is the purpose for doing the calendar? There's a lot of different ways and reasons. Coupons to build traffic, introduction of a new product, promotional tool, as a thank you, public relations, and employee involvement, goodwill. Decide how the calendar is going to be, or what the purpose of the calendar is going to be. Then kind of the next step in the process is to decide where the calendar is going to be used. Okay? Who's the ultimate recipient of the calendar, and that's going to dictate where it's going to be used. Do you want it to go on the desk next to the computer? Do you want it in the home, in the kitchen? Do you want it on the wall in the office? Is it out in the factory? And I'll show you an idea later. You say factory, warehouse. There's an idea later. Do you want it to be carried in the purse, briefcase, et cetera, et cetera? Where it's used will help you decide how it will be distributed, which we'll be talking about in just a few minutes. Then choosing the calendar to go along with that. Once you decide whether you want it on the desk, on the wall, in the factory, in the warehouse, et cetera, it's choosing the calendar. You've got a wide variety of calendars to select from. I mean, from ours, we specialize in desk calendars, as well as you'll see there the thank you calendars, there's stick-on calendars, there's wall calendars, there's pocket planners, there's desk pads. You've got all different ones. They even have we do the 13-month. You've got 16-month, and they have the dreaded, and I don't like to say it very often, the dreaded perpetual calendar. Yuck. I don't like the perpetual calendar because your repeat factor on a perpetual calendar isn't that great. I actually saw a calendar, grabbed a sample of a calendar. It was a 20-year planner, and I'm thinking, wow, that calendar is going to repeat every 20 years. That's not so good. But also when you're choosing a calendar, think about the ultimate recipient of the calendar. In other words, if your ultimate recipient of the calendar is going to be beauticians, for instance, and the owner of this beauty supply company is a man, and he likes to go out hunting deer every fall, and he likes a good rugged deer calendar or hunting calendar or wildlife calendar, and that's what he wants to hand out to his customers. Well, his customers are the beauticians. They probably don't want the deer calendar. So think about where it's going, and that's where the distribution program becomes critical as far as how the calendar is going to be distributed. And that goes along with any product you sell. I mean, if you walk back to get, we've heard this story if you've been around a while, you walk back in to get a reorder and they've got a closet full of what you sold them, you didn't give them the proper distribution plan. So once you get them into the calendars, let's figure out where you want them to go. To their suppliers, stockholders, customers. Do you want to put them out in the community? I use the example of real estate. In real estate, they tend to give it out to their customers or potential customers, but why not put these in the hotel rooms? I mean, think about that. People, when they're relocating, they're starting a new job, they typically are looking for an apartment or home or whatever. They may be staying in a hotel room or the apartment complex. Put them in the lobby of the apartment areas. Put them in the libraries. Put them in the hotel rooms. I stay at a lot of hotels, and I never see a calendar in a hotel room, and that just bothers me. Somebody says, well, Phil, if you put it in a hotel room, they'll take it. Hello? You mean they actually want these things, use these things? So what if they take it, replace it? They take the shampoo and the towels too, so you just replace it with another calendar. So any of you folks out there that may be dealing with hotels, let's try and get a calendar in every hotel room. As far as helping your customers distribution, you could put a whole sheet together for them, a checklist. when they decide who their ultimate recipient of the calendar is going to be, put a checklist together for them and hand it out to them and make sure they get it out to the proper people. Distribution is key. The next thing is you know, how is the calendar going to be distributed? There's various ways as far as how they can be distributed. If you want to mail them out to customers, hand them out to customers. You want route drivers to be handing them out, special promotion. How about sending out a letter to come in and pick up that special prize and gift that's been chosen especially for you? So when they come in, you give them their calendar. So they're actually coming in to get their calendar. I've had programs where they say, banks, a little story at a bank that said, oh, we're not going to order calendars this year. And the distributor went in there and had all their friends and relatives going into the bank and asking where the calendars were, to the point where the bank finally said, geez, I guess we better order our calendars. And that story's not too far-fetched if any of you are out there selling calendars. You can't get rid of them. Once you get them, you can't get rid of them. When will it be distributed is another thing. Is it going to be distributed year-end? We have the December top sheet. I mentioned that a few moments ago. We're going to talk about it in a minute. We have the December top sheet, so these can be handed out in Thanksgiving time, be first placed on the desk. Sometimes you want to hand them out at the beginning of the year, a special occasion, such as an open house, and I'm going to show you an idea on that shortly. So when it's going to be distributed is also important. As far as when to order. And I always promote ordering early, because if you order calendars early, most calendar companies provide huge discounts if you order early. A few more quick ideas on distribution, and then we're going to kind of move on. You know, hand out employees as part of a employment package. I'll show you a sample of that shortly. Included every delivery in November and December. Give to clients and friends. We have our minimum order on, say, stick-on calendars, our value stick calendars. Our minimum order is $150, and I have people say, well, I only need 75. Well, what about possibly giving 2 to every customer? That's a good way to bump up your from 75 to 150 real easy, because if you give somebody 2, they're going to probably use both of them. How are these slides loading, Jeff? We still good?
Sorry, I unmuted myself. So they're.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, good. I just want to make sure I'm not getting too far ahead of the slides and everything else, because my screen is showing.
You're doing awesome, and really these are such great practical suggestions, and I know there's so much more great stuff coming, because it's a category, and of course what Warwick does even beyond calendars, what did you say earlier, making paper talk?
We make paper perform, because we, in addition to calendars, we do greeting cards, which I'm going to talk about right now, and the photo frames and presentation photo set, et cetera. Our kind of motto is making paper perform. But I want to make sure we're still going. Right now, you should be seeing the December top sheet, which I mentioned earlier, which allows for distribution in November and get first placement. But the other reason for the December top sheet, you'll notice there it says best wishes for the new year. What does it become? It becomes a greeting card. Now, the average greeting card has 8 seconds of exposure, whereas the calendar obviously has 396 days of exposure. It's still around in July. A lot more bang for the buck in the calendar than there is in a greeting card. Now, we do sell greeting cards here at Warwick, but I like to promote the fact there's a lot more bang for your buck. Next time you get a greeting card from a business, I mean, you personally, if you get a greeting card from a business, hang on to it. Treat it as a lead, because you already know one thing about that business, now don't you? They're, in my opinion, wasting money on a greeting card. So you call them up and say, hey, I really appreciate you sending me that greeting card, but I've got a better greeting card. My greeting card is wanted, needed, and used. My greeting card is going to still be around in July when your greeting card is long gone. My greeting card is going to give you 396 days of exposure. Do you want to see my greeting card? Yes, Phil. Yes, Phil, I want to see your greeting card. My greeting card is the calendar. I mentioned earlier added value. Now I want to get into some ways as far as how you can add value to the calendar. I'm going to show you how to do it on our calendars, but a lot of this pertains to other calendar companies also. And I want to mention our best-selling calendar is this one right here that should be on your screen, the 955 Veloy. It's one of our best sellers because it's inexpensive. It's got a full year printed on the back. It's got a phone index printed underneath the pad. All those particular items are printed at the same time. The full year, the customer's ad copy and the phone index are all printed at the same time. I tell you this because you can replace these things with other information. Like on the back side, you don't have to have a full year. You can replace it with, say, thank you for not smoking, which is huge nowadays. Nobody smokes inside anymore. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate your business. Now think about this as sitting on a desk and you got somebody on the other side of the desk looking at the back of the calendar. So you can add different things on the back. Smile. Get out of my office is one of my personal favorites. You know, somebody comes in, they read the back of the calendar, it says get out of my office. Another one that I like is we did one. This actually came from a live order. It was for a coffee supply service, and they were doing 200. The sales people were doing 200 cold calls a week, calling on businesses and leaving business cards behind. Instead, they did this. They put this on the back of a calendar. Now, remember I said earlier that it is a business card. It's got who you are, where you are, what you do on the front. But they put this on the back. They gave that to the receptionist, but now what did the receptionist do? Receptionist gets the calendar. They read the back. It says every third salesperson is shot, and the second one just left, so they chuckle a little bit, ha, ha, ha. But they place it out on the counter. Why did they place it out on the counter? Because the calendar had added value. Another way to add value is by replacing the phone index underneath the calendar. Underneath the pad, we have a phone index. You can put other things in idea, and I'm going to show you some. Customized phone index, price list. We actually did one for an airline, Air Jamaica. They put their route schedules underneath. You can put a special message under there. Additional business locations. I'm going to show you a few ideas here. We did one for a dental supply company. Okay, a dental supply company, they put Smile on the back, and then they had the teeth all numbered underneath the pad. I mean, we know our teeth are all numbered. And I saw this order going through the factory, and I thought, now there's a smart distributor there. They got their customer. They added value to the calendar. They gave a reason for the dentist to hang on to that calendar. And then I got to think, if I would go to the dentist, and my dentist is about to do some work on me, and he reaches over for the calendar and lifts up the calendar pad and looks under there before he's doing work, guess what time it is, folks? Time for a new dentist. But anyway, there was a creative idea, and I gave the distributor a lot of credit for doing it because they did add value to it. Let's say a realtor. Here's a way for a realtor to add value to the calendar. Put an amortization chart underneath the calendar pad. They also had on the back side of that, you know, penny saved is penny earned, nice little cute little saying. Another idea is for restaurants. There's a couple different ideas for restaurants. What about a restaurant? They put a little lunch menu underneath the pad. They carry out phone number. Let's do lunch. Now they hand this out to, and here comes distribution, they hand this out in the industrial parks and to all the offices. Because what do we do about 10 o'clock in the morning? What's everybody in the office starting to say? What's for lunch? What's for lunch? What are we going to do for lunch? Now, here's another idea. A great way to add value to the calendar. There's your every third salesperson shop. This was for a diner, but if you look underneath the pad where the phone index was, lift pad for coupons. So in January, you tear the sheet off, and in January you come in, you get a free cup of coffee. In February, you get 25% off. March, you get free appetizer, et cetera, et cetera. I don't need to go through all of them, but you've added value. You haven't done anything special. People ask me, they say, Phil, can I put a coupon on the back of your calendar pad, each sheet? And I say, no. We buy those pads literally by the million, so it becomes very, very costly to print customized pads. But by putting that underneath the calendar, you've added value to it, and it hasn't cost you a dime more. Because we can replace that imprinting on the back side and underneath the pad at no additional charge. So you really have 3 locations for copy for the price of 1. Now we've got stick-on calendar. Here's a real simple way to add value to your pressure-sensitive calendars. We have pressure-sensitive value stick calendars. You'll see one on the left side. Sorry for a little bit fuzzy. I realize my photography isn't real good. Bring in last month's calendar for 10% off your next full meal purchase. And like in the case of the pizza, bring in your previous month calendar and receive $2 off. Now they staple that right to the box when somebody comes into the pizza parlor for their carryout, as I mentioned earlier, as an add-on in November, December. They staple the calendar right to the box or bag and send it home with the folks. Quick little commercial break here, folks. I was talking about value sticks, but this whole program is brought to you by Warwick Value Sticks, and I want to point out a little special offer we have running right now. For the remainder of this year, on all of our value stick calendars, you can take EQP less 5%. Now, how many times do you hear that? EQP less 5% on our value stick calendars from now until the end of the year. All you got to do is put on their SuccessTracks on the PO, 5% off EQP special, and you're good to go. 5% off EQP. That's a great bargain. Those are great calendars, too. The stick-on calendar is one of the best calendars to sell because people know what to do with them, and they'll gobble them up, and they'll put them on the dashboard of their car, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, wow, Phil, that is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
You guys are both crazy today. Over there at Warwick.
We're nuts. We're crazy over here. That's right. Now, I mentioned earlier year-long communication program. That's because it is a year-long communication program. We stuck to the fact I mentioned, it says who you are, what you do, where you are, but it's really a message board. Anytime you want to convey a message to somebody for an entire year, think of a calendar. This is an actual order we did for Ford Motor Company a few years back. We did 110,000 calendars for Ford Motor Company, and they put their mission statement on there and passed it out to all their employees. Didn't go out to one single customer. It went out to the employees. I kind of mentioned that earlier as far as distribution it goes. But what a great way to instill their mission statement upon their employees. For how many days? Everybody yell it out. Shout at your computer. 396 days. That is correct, folks. Now, I want to talk about an award-winning calendar I have because this sucker can be customized real easy. Matter of fact, we pushed the fact that this particular calendar is customized. It's our Wave. It actually won the 2011 Counselor Product Design for the calendar division because it is really unique and different. It's kind of a 3D effect. It's small, compact. We ship them out folded, flat. They come with an envelope. So you can slide them right in an envelope. They mail out at the regular 1 ounce rate, which nowadays is very important. We have 5 stock designs, and the stock designs are really for the people that don't want to think. We've got golf. We've got I went brain dead here. Scenic, et cetera, et cetera. We've got a beach scene, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. We got 5 ones. Anyway, I don't like the stock ones necessarily because these can be customized so nicely. I also want to mention that we do mail them flat. As you can see in the slide you're looking at now, we tried to, and I say tried to, make them as idiot-proof as possible. They are color-coded and alphabetized, and you just take the tabs, slide them into the little slots, and away you go. You've got your little 3D upright calendar. It sits about 5 inches tall. It's not overbearing. But as I mentioned earlier, the best part about this item is the customization. Here's just a few little customized ones. We did the Harry Ant was a design company. We did one for the Colorado Rockies. That one makes me thirsty. They can be used in a lot of different ways. We did one for an open house. There was a distributor here in the Chicago area that was having an open house in September. They actually had it September 19th. What they did is they took the calendar, the Wave calendar, customized it, mailed it out in May, late May, to all their customers, so the customer could actually use the calendar June, July, and August on one side, as you see. Then on the flip side, they had September and the date of their open house. And you were able to highlight their showroom. So any of you distributors out there that might be having an open house or moving, we do provide good own-use pricing on these, which I'll be showing you in just a few moments. So they can be used as an invitation. We did one for the same concept for a Yankee Dental Congress was having a big conference in January, and they mailed it out in June, and then had 6 months on one side, and then in January. Now, this was one I kind of protect, this would be good for your Monterey Aquarium when we go out there, Jeff. But anyway, this aquarium mailed it out to their members, okay? Now, you've got the 6 months, January through June on one side, but then you open up that flap, you've got the ability to print inside the flap. So what they did was they put 4 coupons inside the flap, okay? Sometimes people forget about that. Is advertising space that's available. So now, at the end of the first 6 months, at the end of June, they open it up. They take the pair of scissors. They cut it off. They got 4 coupons. They added value to the calendar. The calendar still stands upright. Even after you cut that off, it still stands upright for another 6 months. And then you pop it open at the end of the year, and guess what? 4 more coupons. I'm a big, big proponent of added value. What have you done to that particular Wave calendar? You've added value. Great for restaurants to utilize. It's a great little calendar. Here's another. I want another case history for you. This was I changed the name to protect the innocent, but it was for a large college that wanted to promote their men's and women's basketball. Their attendance was down. So what they did is they took the wave, they customized it. You got men's basketball on one side, women's basketball on the other side, and they handed it out and put it in all the social areas, the bars, the restaurants, the library. They gave them to the students. They mailed them out. They really pushed these out in the community. It was a nice order, rather large order. Really pushed out the community to promote the women's and basketball schedule. On the inside flap of that particular one, they had a little more detail as far as the schedule goes, is which games are televised, what channel it's on, et cetera, et cetera. So you've really given somebody a reason to hang on to the calendar, and I can't say that enough. Anytime you give somebody a reason to hang on to the calendar, you are far better off. I wanted to just point out, this isn't a calendar, but that particular wave makes great invitations. Okay, here's one for a wedding. Kind of the right side is before. Save the date, and then after the wedding, you send out a little thank you to everybody, something different and unique that you don't see all the time. So it makes a great invitation. As I said, we provide envelopes with these at no additional charge. They come with the calendar. They come folded. They fit in the envelope. They mail out at the regular 1-ounce rate. So it's a great little item. Now, another little commercial, it doesn't have to be a calendar either, because I said it is a table tent. We use it a lot of different ways. We've done for Coors, for drink specials. Captain Morgan, that was a new restaurant that was offering late night pizza. So it's a tabletop tent. And they're all made to order, folks. I mean, these are all customized. Full 4-color process on both sides, minimum of 50. As you'll see in the lower left-hand corner, we even have new shaped waves. We've got a red wine, white wine. We've got a few other shapes available. They're all on our website. The shaped waves, minimum 100. So very small minimums. They run a little over $2 on an A. I know you like A's. Keep those in mind. Now, if you would like some of these for yourself, and I strongly urge handing out calendars. If you don't hand out calendars or don't purchase calendars for yourself, you really should be, because once you start handing calendars out, you'll start realizing how effective the calendars are. When your customers, the look on your customer's face when you give them a calendar, they're going, wow, thank you for the calendar. So I have a special PSA offer on our Wave calendars, and I'm offering you today for sitting in on this, $39 per 100 for 2014 calendars, $39 per 100. All you got to do is mention that you were part of SuccessTracks. Actually, you don't even have to do that. If you send us a PO and it's $39 per 100, you don't even have to mention this, but it's a great little item. Kind of wrap things up a little bit. Something happens every year. Here's the beauty of the calendar. Something happens every year at midnight on December 31st. The candle flickers one last time, and then suddenly, guess what happens? All those calendars become obsolete. It has a set expiration date. That's the one thing a calendar has over a lot of other products, is a set expiration date. Those empty spaces need to be replaced. You don't know when that pen's going to run out of ink. You don't know when the hat's going to be placed on the head, or the T-shirt's going to be worn, or that the electronic piece, the battery's going to run out. But on a calendar, you know something's going to happen on December 31st, and that is you're going to need new calendars. Be noticed. Personalized calendars, put your name in their face. That's a cute little kid. Few things are simple, few things are effective. A business calendar is a handshake that lasts. They're memorable, et cetera, et cetera. I don't need to read it for you. Most common reason prospects don't buy calendars, you didn't ask them to buy. Listen for various buying signals when you're talking to your customers about calendars. Remember, I said at the very beginning, start talking to your customers about calendars. If you're not, please start. I had one guy, I'm going to tell you a quick little story. I had one guy tell me, he said he liked doing spec samples. And we, like I said earlier, we do spec samples, but you can also do it with a virtual sample, a little easier. He purposely misspelled the street name on a customer's street name, or their business name, or their address, or transverse their phone number. He would do something wrong in the spec sample, and then he'd take it in and show his customer. And when his customer said, well, that's not you got my phone number wrong, he'd pull out a purchase order and say, well, what is the correct phone number? Let me get that written down here. And he'd start closing the deal right there. I thought it was a cute idea. So always be asking for the order. I always finish by kind of saying, there's two little words that'll help you sell more calendars, folks. Show them. You have to show them. People, when I come in the booth, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, I know I should sell calendars, but I don't know how. And I'll say to them, are you showing them? And typically I'll hear, no. show them. Carry a couple calendars with you out on your presentation. Like I said, it's the old by the way sale. You're not going to close all the orders the first time. You're not going to get the order. It's going to take a couple times. You got to be persistent. But I'm telling you right here, right now, and you can tell me if I'm wrong later on down the road if you see me at a trade show. When you get that calendar order, it's going to repeat, and it's going to repeat, and it's going to repeat, and it's going to be the easiest order you get every year. So what are we going to do? Show them. And I'll be glad to send you samples. All of our random samples are no charge. I'll be glad to send them to you. That's it, folks. I want to say thanks for sitting in, and I hope you picked up something today that you didn't know. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. If you did, put it to good use. And I'll kind of open it up to any questions that anybody might have.
Yeah, yes, Phil, we actually have quite a few questions, and thanks, because as I said in the beginning, even as a salty old seasoned veteran, I learned something new in this session, and I love different and fresh. I think the cool things you can do at the Wave and other things. It's Warwick, you guys got it going on, Phil. What can I tell you?
Yeah, we weren't born tomorrow. We've been around since, we're actually a fourth generation family-owned business, been around since incorporated in 1929, and like I said, fourth generation. So we hope we do things right. Excuse me.
Well, you do. Okay, so here is a question: can the bring a calendar page for a discount be done on desk calendars? So I think you said, did you say something like bring a calendar page? So can you do these discount things on desk calendars?
Yes, on the desk calendars, you have to put if you want to do the coupon program, it has to be printed on the actual calendar itself. We cannot do coupon calendar pads. Okay, so on our particular desk calendars I showed earlier, we can print underneath the phone index is the best way to do that. Just highlight the program underneath there, so when they're tearing the sheet off, they're actually bringing the sheet in, and that becomes the coupon. So it's a way for them to measure their marketing. I'm not sure. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, I think that answered it. Here's another question. So who did the graphics for these custom pieces? Obviously, that was really nice work.
That's an excellent question. In some cases, now we do a lot of a lot of those custom calendars, a lot of the custom ones, we are willing to do the graphic work for you with a little assistance. Now, I've had people say, well, can you just go out to their website and design something? Yeah, but you got to give us a little bit of help as far as, we can ask you the right questions. Who's the recipient? What's it for? How's it going to be used? Et cetera, et cetera. So anytime we can get some images or a guideline as far as what images you'd like us to use, we can manipulate it and do it. That being said, it's a much easier for us to do the legwork and some of the work for you in the early part of the year. Right now, we are in the heat of battle, and I really cannot do design work now. We really need you to help us out as much as possible, but we are willing to help out. If you want us to do it this time of the year, we do have a charge. It's $60 on a D per hour, a minimum of an hour, and we'll tell you how long it's going to take to design it. In the early part of the year, I'll design it, no charge.
Right, and that, obviously you're a seasonal business, and again, this is what makes Warwick so great, is they're willing to invest the time and energy to help make you look great to your client. Obviously, that's really the bottom line. A satisfied client is, that's
we really like to
build our business annuity.
Yeah, we really like to make it convenient to do business with us. That's kind of our motto. And when it's not convenient to do business with us, then you're not doing business with us. So we don't like to say no very often. And if we do say no, we'll typically send you in the right direction of somebody that can help you out. But being seasonal, there's certain things we can do, January through August that we just can't do this time of the year.
Right, yeah, because Phil, I don't think they want to have you like working 14 hours a day, you getting the crayons out.
I'd be happy to work 14 hours a day. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's better than 16, right?
Yeah, better, exactly.
So, you want to get into the graphics design department and move beyond the crayons, and also what you said about providing, some direction. This is something that distributor salespeople obviously need to control. It's you let the what could you pick a nice font for us? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, there's like thousands to choose from. Direction
exactly.
key when you're talking.
Well,
about
we get a lot of we get a lot of. I think my customer would like this. Here's their website. We've done some pretty creative, pretty good work, but we do like a little more information whenever we can get it.
Right. Okay. Here's another question. What is the minimum order for a wave? They're thinking about using them for weddings or sports team.
Minimum order on the standard square wave, and I only showed one shaped wave, minimum is only 50. Only 50 minimum. When you get into the shaped waves like the wine bottle, the red wine, white wine, we've got 5 other stock shapes. The minimum is 100. So very low minimums. And like I said, and just to give you an idea, you're a minimum of 50, and even at a minimum of 50, you're what is it? Bear with me 1 minute. You're $2.62 on an A at minimum of 50. You get up into 1,000 quantity, you're $1.05 on an A discount. So very reasonably priced for what you're getting. And like I said, we offer stock designs, but this is really meant to be customized. We don't have sitting on a shelf. These are all made to order. Like the stock designs are for somebody that just give me 100 of the golf ones, or give me 50 of the scenic ones. I don't, somebody wants something quick and don't want to think.
Wow. Okay, we got a wow on the answer to that question because I think that's a good thing. So
the wow because it's a small minimum, I hope.
Yes, and here's another question: is who's Sandra here who's really enjoying the session, and I know getting a lot out of it. Brilliant comments. Can they get a copy of the presentation too? And I believe, Phil, you mentioned that would be available for download. Yes.
Now, if I've got on the screen right now, okay, you've got my email address, philm at wpcpp.com. That's for Warwick Publishing Company Promotional Products, acronym. Feel free to email me. I haven't done it yet, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be downloading the PowerPoint presentation. You're not going to have the audio. You'll have the slides, but not the audio. I'm going to be downloading that to our FTP site, so anybody can, I'll be actually uploading it to our FTP site, so if anybody wants to download it, just email me at philm@wpcpp.com, and I will be glad to give you instructions on how to go to our FTP site and how to download the PowerPoint presentation. As I mentioned, it's not going to have any of the verbiage or audio, so you're going to have to remember what I said, and I know I talk fast. Jeff, I do believe, has recorded it too. He'll have to help you in that respect. But if you want the slides, and here, I'll tell you right now, feel free. If you want to download the PowerPoint presentation, you want to utilize the slides in any way, shape, or form for a presentation for your customer to try and sell calendars, you have my permission. By all means, do so.
Right, and we will have the recording available. So if there are people in your office that couldn't attend live, and we know that happens a lot, people are busy, the recording of the session is available along with the actual slides from Phil.
How do I get it, Jeff? See what I said. Do I get a copy too? Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
See where I screwed up and what?
No. Okay. So anyway, they can get the slides or the recording of the session, and you screwing it up. But no.
Yes, thank you.
Recorded.
So feel free, like I said, email me and I can get you whatever you want. If you have any questions after we're done or whatever, you've got my email. Jot that down. philm@wpcpp.com. Feel free to contact me, call me, do whatever. I'll be glad to help you out.
All right. Lots more questions. Does the PSA calendar have promo graphics?
Promo graphics? What do you mean?
That's a good question.
It will have whatever graphics you want on there. I mean, if you want us to put some product information on there or some products, we've done some very creative PSAs on the wave for distributors. I mean, if you did want some assistance or some other ideas, I'd be glad to help you out on that.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so here's a question. How do I respond when someone states, I know I know you'll love this. How do I respond when someone states that they use their phone for their calendar?
I love it when people hold up. People come into the booth and they see calendars and they say, "I use my phone," and I go, "That's great. I've never dropped my desk calendar in a toilet, and my desk calendar's never had the blue screen of death. I've never had annoying pop-up on my desk calendar. I don't have to reboot my desk calendar. I don't. This goes along with wall calendars too. Really, to be honest with you, when people tell me about their phones and they use their iPads and their phones for everything, that's great. So do I. Here's a true, honest-to-goodness story, and you can contact Fran Ford, our good friend Fran Ford over at Castelli.
Oh, Fran.
The folks at Scott, he told me this recently. The folks at Apple, all the executives and sales reps at Apple are required to carry a planner with them. Okay, and the planners happen. I know this because the planners happen to be purchased through a distributor from Castelli. A little plug for Fran, but he told me.
Right.
So these are Apple reps that are required to carry a planner just in case. Okay, something goes haywire. See that it's a backup plan. Now, as far as our calendars are concerned, now I know planners. My business life is not going to evolve around the desk calendar. I'm looking at my desk calendar right now, sitting right by my computer. It's a reference piece. I've got little things highlighted on there, little tiny notes. Really, people are still using and wanting and needing calendars, like the stick-on calendars that they put in their car. People are still looking at calendars, folks. I mean, your business and social lives evolve around the calendar. When somebody says, "Oh, I got it all here," I say that's all well and good, but our sales, still going strong, strong. So people are using it.
Yes, because you make paper communicate.
We make paper perform. We make paper perform.
Right. And it's interesting that the Apple people, use
that's a true story.
Journals and stuff. Yeah, no, I believe that.
Fran Ford told me that, and I was like a shock because it's
as an Apple user, I can say you don't want to contact their Genius Bar when it goes. Whoever named this guy's Genius is, I don't know. Anyway, I won't get off on an Apple tangent. Going back to, it was mentioned here about going back to the slide on the PSA, because maybe we could kind of, wrap
up to that slide
a little bit more. Yeah, and just because I think that's of interest.
Let me back up and see if I can pop that puppy. I've got hard copies of this PSA offer. If somebody wants to email, I've got a PDF of it as well as hard copies of it. I mean, I could gladly email it to anybody who wants to email me and say, "Phil, email me that PSA offer." I'll be glad to do that. Wait for it to pop up. There you should have it on your screen. Yeah. But it's basically $39 per 100. That's it. Tell us what you want. It doesn't have to be a calendar. If you want to use them for an invitation or whatever, I don't care. You just tell us what you want.
Right. It's the wave piece. So you can do a lot with it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Got it. Let me see if there's any other questions. Good.
Such as that.
Good comments. I'm sorry. Say again.
No, I just popped up the screen with all it's making me thirsty. It's Friday.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's Friday.
Exactly,
it's 1 o'clock Central. I'm looking at Captain Morgan, Coors Light, a bottle of wine.
Yeah, exactly. So it is Friday afternoon. So there are any other questions? Just type them in real quick, and as we and Phil will get to them. So again, amazing company, Warwick Publishing, and not only have I gotten to know Phil from the business side of life. I am a distributor in my spare time. We really truly appreciate Warwick's support of FreePromoTips. It's really companies like this that get it, and we see their desire to truly help people be successful. This is an industry that's about stuff, and there are a lot of people that sell stuff, and there are a lot of people that sell calendars. But
don't sell stuff. Don't sell calendars.
Don't exactly. Don't
sell what
sell
it's going
stuff.
to do. It's going to communicate. Yeah. It's a communication program. Yeah, we don't sell stuff. That's
right.
the problem. You're absolutely right, though. I think too many people are selling stuff, and we used to sell what we used to solve problems, and find the right product that solves a particular problem. And I know a lot of people still do, and God bless them for doing that, because that's really what I believe. I've been doing this for 28 years, and I hate it when somebody just sells product.
Well,
I'm glad to sell them my product. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Exactly. And this is, when you can find a supplier like Warwick that is willing to really help you and go the extra mile to enable you to get the sale, I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Well, the nice thing, too, about customization, and I talked about a lot of customization as far as how to customize desk counters. The Wave is obviously a major item for customization. But customization makes it unique to you as a distributor salesperson, too, and it's not just a price issue. If you show them, Distributor A comes in with this stock piece, and you come in with something customized, specifically for them. It just shows your integrity, and you've got a better opportunity of selling it. And it gets you away from price.
Right, exactly. And just as there are a lot of suppliers that are stuff sellers, there are a lot of distributors that are stuff sellers. And it's the people who take time out of their crazy day to attend a session like this that have a competitive advantage in what is an increasingly more competitive environment, because the stuff seller are the online people. Nothing, a lot of business being done online, but there's that personal touch, that ability to customize and do these things that we're talking about here that make you different, give you a chance to create that business annuity there. Well, I think we've covered questions really well, and it's just really been a great session. I want to thank again our title sponsors for SuccessTracks. We don't do, I'm going to use the word here only for the point of illustration, we don't do webinars. I think the industry has plenty of webinars. We do online learning experiences with people who think outside the box, like Phil and others who have presented. And so there's more great SuccessTracks learning experiences coming up. And it's really with the help of Snugs USA, amazing company. Everybody loves Snugs. And
yes.
Also Warwick, all those fine folks here today, Brandon McKay. Brandon, by the way, was running for mayor in his town.
Did he win, or is it his election?
I don't know. I think it's probably November. So, but Snugs is a great company, and also AIA, David Woods and Rebecca Coleman over there. They totally get what we're doing and support what we're doing, and we truly appreciate that. And Warwick and the Pascals, right? Yeah.
The brothers Pascal, yeah.
The brothers.
Final,
great guys.
One final thing I want to mention: everybody that attended today, you're all going to be receiving a kit, a free sample kit from Warwick. It'll have counters in there and some of the other products that we have that make paper perform.
Right, absolutely. And if you're going to the trade shows coming up in January, we've got the Expo, we've got Orlando. I'm sure you'll be at both places.
I will be there.
All around the country. Go up and give Phil a big free promo tips out there.
There you go. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Well, hey, thanks very much, and you all have a great day.
Everybody have a good weekend. Thanks.